It's an opportunity sometimes in church to say, please keep quiet. Thank you to the members of the media for being here. We as the, what they call the eminent persons, speaking to the nations about the key values that need to characterize our society and country to win these elections. So I'm going to read a statement from that deploys a team of 500 monitors nationwide to keep a lookout for election-related abuse or violence based on previous experiences in Africa. The monitors are trained and informed community members who are politically independent. They are in close and regular contact with provincial and national institutions and are able to take rapid action with conflict resolution exercises when necessary. The Election Monitoring Network over the past 3 weeks has already identified a number of potential threats to the election process throughout the country. And we will put these into 3 categories. Firstly, we want to look at political parties. We have noted the politicization of community tensions. Every election, as you know, in South Africa, presents an opportunity for the poor and different interest groups to engage the different spheres of government in the issues that affect them. Unfortunately, this tends to be the only time when the poor believe that their bargaining tool is at its most powerful. The EMN is concerned about the manner in which political parties are using these engagements to draw the poor into their political camps by manipulating community problems for their own electioneering purposes. The EMN has identified trends where members of the public, politicians and political parties have politicized issues that otherwise would not have been political at all. These include service delivery concerns and neighborly and/or community clashes, which have been exaggerated. The network confirms that it has observed cases of political intolerance countrywide, which are genuinely politically motivated. But in addition, politicians are manipulating the already tense election context to further their agendas by placing other community conflicts within a political context. The network is further concerned that the majority of political clashes and tensions take place in predominantly black communities, which entrenches the stereotypes that such communities are very susceptible to violence and are dangerous. Black communities have become the battleground for political parties seeking to reach out to the electorate. We caution against manipulation of poor people and unemployed youth in particular for political reasons. Last year's outbreak of xenophobic violence can leave no one in doubt about the velocity and speed with which violence can spread through communities, particularly poor communities. We further call on political parties to adhere to the Electoral Code of Conduct, which they recently publicly signed. Misuse of state funds for political reasons. There have been disturbing reports on some politicians interfering with the handing out of government-funded food parcels in order to secure votes. The Electoral Monitoring Network urges South African Social Security Agency, or SASSA in short, to ensure that proper procedures are followed to identify the beneficiaries of social assistance, such as state grants and food parcels, following a process that ensures that all individuals and families who are desperately in need of assistance actually get it. The EMN also appeals to political parties to take action against any of their members who are interfering with the distribution of government-funded food parcels. A number of communities in cross-border municipalities have threatened to boycott the elections if their areas are not turned or returned to their original provinces. There are also reported cases of increased land grabbing and illegal occupation of vacant land to create informal settlements. Because of the elections, politicians have joined in and condoned such incidences, and political heads of municipalities have been reluctant to order evictions before the elections. The second point that we want to highlight concerns the issue of security. Noting that the political context is heating up towards the election date, the country is reasonably stable. While the political fluidity in the election contest has increased, we call upon all political parties to maintain the stability and refrain from disruptive behavior. The EMN further urges the taxi industry and groups within the industry to refrain from using threats to disrupt the election in its disputes with government over the introduction of the bus rapid transport system. The fourth point that we wish to highlight concerns the Independent Electoral Commission. We appeal to the IEC as the center of integrity to uphold that integrity that has guided its operations in the past and maintain the transparency that has been its hallmark. This has enabled accredited observers in the past to declare the conduct of our past elections acceptable. We urge the IEC to investigate allegations about staff who are politically aligned in different provinces and publicize the findings. The last point, which is a general note, is a note addressed to the role of the media. Considering the potential role of the media in contributing to electoral conflict, the Electoral Monitoring Network appeals to the media to provide coverage that is impartial and fair. We also call on the SABC as a public broadcaster to execute its mandate in a manner that is consistent with the electoral law. I nearly said exclude, but to execute its mandate. We also call upon political parties to respect the role of the media and refrain from making statements that could undermine free reporting and responsible journalism. There have been concerns in terms of religious institutions, and we also want to address that. We appeal to the religious community to play a positive role in this election period, to maintain a high moral ground and not to be tempted to take political sides, as this can further divide the people of this country. Almost all South Africans profess some religious affiliation, and therefore religious institutions must shy away from taking political positions on behalf of their members. So this is our statement. Thank you.
Across the board when they're in different provinces. So we're not targeting any province. Of course, we're aware that there are historical fissures